La Ventanilla de Salud. La Ventanilla de Salud es un programa que está en colaboración el Consulado General de México con el YWCA y su servidora promotora de salud Marta López. Tiene hoy como invitado a Ricardo, le voy a decir en español Ricardo, Ricardo Acosta. Y queremos que sepan que nosotros estamos muy agradecidos con Virgen de Guadalupe Foundation porque gracias a esta radio que ellos tienen, 1380M, es posible que llegue a sus casas, a sus oídos y puedan saber esta información tan importante que trae hoy Ricardo. Ricardo es un promotor de la comunidad. Él tiene una organización que se llama My City is My Home y yo creo que en inglés está bien expresada, en español déjenme decirles, mi ciudad es mi casa, es una organización no lucrativa y tiene un mensaje y va a compartir de todo lo que él sabe de recursos, de las posibles asistencias, inclusive de los eventos que vengan a la comunidad y que son sin costo. Entonces, vamos a comenzar, Ricardo, welcome. Por cierto, que les voy a estar traduciendo un poquito porque su lenguaje primario es en inglés, pero yo les voy comentando lo que nos dice. Ricardo, welcome to Ventanilla de Salud Program at the Virgen de Guadalupe Foundation.
Thank you
I'm
for having
telling
me.
them yes, you represent your teacher represents.
Yes.
So I'm telling them what is the special topic today? ¿Qué es el tema principal de hoy?
Your questions regarding renters' rights, anything you want to have a conversation about, how to find housing, some aspects that I've heard about, any issues you have with your lessor, your landlord, about turning in work orders, and just items that you have about renting in general.
Entonces, hoy Ricardo nos puede apoyar dejándonos saber cuáles son los derechos del rentero, ¿verdad? ¿Cuáles son las preguntas que ustedes tienen sobre cómo pueden obtener una casa de renta, ¿verdad? En dónde pueden, en inglés le llaman housing, pero es tener vivienda. Entonces, el día de hoy Ricardo nos está dando una amplia explicación. So, Richard, people in San Antonio is going through this, they're going through having to be evicted, but before eviction, they're going to notice of vacate. When they don't have a house on their own, they really are exposed to that, even when they are being paying the rent on time. Have you heard that?
Yes. So if you do not have a lease where it's written out to tell you from the beginning when the lease starts and then till the lease ends, let's say 6 months to a year later, then you are in what's called a month to month. So when you're in a month to month lease, which means, again, you do not have a normal contract that states that a start and end time. When there's no start and end time written contract, you're considered to be in a month-to-month lease. So what that means is when every month that ends, they can decide whether or not they want to allow you to stay in the property.
Ok, muy bien. Esto que él comenta es bien importante. Una persona que va a hacer un contrato de renta es bien importante que lo tenga desde una fecha que comienza y que indique la fecha en que termina. De otra manera, si no tienes un contrato, estarías en una posición de mes a mes y eso es un riesgo muy grande porque el siguiente mes a lo mejor ya no te rentan. Correcto. So, Richard, when somebody has month to month, but they're still paying the rent on time, but they're still in the position to be notice of vacate, correct?
Yes. So if once the end of the month comes and the landlord or leaseor states that they no longer want you to be living in the property and they're supposed to give you 30 to 60-day notice that they're not going to renew, right? And if they don't give that, then they have to go through the eviction process where they're supposed to give you 10 days notice to vacate, that, hey, your lease has ended, we're no longer going to renew your lease, so you have 10 days to vacate the property, or else we're going to start the eviction process. But within those 10 days, you have the option to talk to a Texas Rio Grande legal aid lawyer or other legal aid organizations to help fight against your eviction in case there was something that they didn't do appropriately, and get you the support to find new housing if needed.
So, queremos que lo sepan, las personas que no tienen que no les dan están viviendo renta mes por mes y luego les dicen que tienen que salirse, pero no les dan ni 30 ni 60 días para salirse. Es cuando muchas veces comienza lo de la evicción, porque si sí le dieron ese papel, entonces usted tiene una oportunidad de buscar dónde vivir, pero si no le han dado ese papel y le llega ya el de la evicción, entonces ya es ir a la corte y todo ello. So, a lot of people, it's vulnerable people, Richard. La gente vulnerable, let's say, is seniors, people with disabilities, single parents, and I'll say parents because it's mom or dad in the situation, and the ones that got really sick after COVID. So they become vulnerable. So les estoy diciendo, hay una población que queremos que sea nuestro blanco al tiro, como decimos, target, ¿verdad? Y es la gente de tercera edad, los deshabilitados, los que son papá o mamá soltero y las personas que se enfermaron después del COVID que están más crónicos. Entonces, here is my question. All these people do not have, or have you heard, do they have any exemptions or any different benefits or any extra support? Have you heard anything?
So first thing that we want to make sure that anybody that's listening to this right now, if they do not have a written lease, again, a lease that's a contract that states that between you and your leaseor or your landlord, a leaseor is just a term for a landlord. So I like to use lessors instead of using the word landlord because they're not our lords. There are lessors, right? They are the people that have the lease, right? They're leasing the property to you. You're the leasee and they're the leaseor. So you need to have a lease that states from the time it starts and the time that ends. If you do not have that, then you really do not have a lot of rights. There's not many rights you have. By the time your lease ends, that month to month, every single month ends, you have no rights to the property, and the landlord or leaseor can state you need to leave. And that's when this starts that whole process. There is support out there, but I'm telling you, if you make less than $2,000 a month, you're not getting like a Section 8 voucher, it's going to be extremely difficult for housing, and you're at high risk of homelessness. If you make less than $2,000 a month, it is extremely unlikely you will find a housing that's healthy, that it's safe and secure. It's because the average low quality rent for a 1-bedroom is about $750 a month.
Wow. So, Richard está muy correcto. La renta ahorita no está económica. Estas meses personas me hablan y me dicen casi llega a los $2,000 las casas. Entonces, Richard tiene razón. Si nosotros no tenemos un documento, un contrato firmado y con las fechas exactas de cuándo se empieza, cuándo se termina, realmente no tiene suficientes derechos. Y estás en esa posición de que si te toca ir a buscar una casa y no tienes ni siquiera un voucher de la sección 8 de que apoya el condado para buscarte casa, entonces realmente si ganas menos de $2,000 estás buscando, vas a tener que buscar muy difícilmente una casa, ¿verdad? Pero no imposible. I'm going to use the word, it's not impossible. Yes.
No.
The things are, let me tell you, the things that I always tell people, have your documents together. So that is going to help. Cuando digo que tengan sus documentos juntos, I'm saying at least your ID, it has to be right there.
See, so there's things that they can do, but I want to reiterate that it is almost very, very difficult to find housing. And the reason why I want to make sure that that is very clear, though, yes, you're right, it's not impossible, but if you're not knowing that it's not going to be a quick phone call, you know, they're gonna, if somebody's listening and they're like, well, where do I find this housing? We can, through this conversation that we're having right now, we're going to talk about ways to find housing. But what you need to understand right now, it's going to be hard. There's not going to be a quick phone call for you to call. There's not a quick little website that you can go to. The things that we're going to talk to you and tell you tools to use, like for instance, sacred.org. That is a site and that you can go to for resources. We can talk about what programs are out there for seniors, what programs are out there for children or for mothers that are single family, what programs are out there. Who has money? It really depends on the time of the month. You know, some people had grants, but then at the end of the month, the money's gone. So going to sacred.org will allow you to keep calling the different places that may have funds, but just know that you're going to be doing many phone calls because it's hard to find who has funds, but at least you have one spot you can go to at sacred.org to look at multiple resources.
And yes, Richard, it's very thankful and very helpful that you mentioning the name of the resource, and they can find them online. Es en línea. Y le voy a buscar poner ahí, no lo puedo escribir ahorita, pero tenemos el número de teléfono de la ventanilla de salud y quisiera que me puedan, por favor, mandar un texto si tiene interés en saber el nombre de esa agencia de recursos que se llama sacred.org, ¿verdad? Entonces se lo podemos mandar al usted me manda un texto al 210-956-6943. Y ahí lo voy a esperar para que usted venga, por favor, a tener esos recursos. Si usted es una persona que tiene deshabilidad o su familiar tiene deshabilidad, una persona de tercera edad, póngale ahí recursos para esta población, recursos para tercera edad. Entonces, es bien importante que ustedes nos sigan, nos estén hablando por teléfono. La ventanilla de salud está disponible lunes, miércoles y viernes, ¿verdad? Martes y jueves son los días en los que estamos en ese celular. I'm telling them the days that we can answer the phone is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The other days we usually at the consulado in person. But tell us, Richard, how can they find you?
Well, here's another number that they can call that can speak in Spanish for resources. 211, that's United Way. 211 is you call that number and it's a directory. They'll call, you can talk to them, they can point you into the right directions, but no, just like any other organization, we can point you to different resources, but we can never guarantee if there's going to be funding available. So 211 is a good number to use, and also 311, and that connects you to the city of San Antonio. They're also in Spanish and English, and they can direct you to different departments. But so if you're facing eviction right now you're listening and you got a notice to vacate or you're being forced with eviction, you can call 311 and speak to the for renter support or for the homeless hotline. So the homeless hotline will connect you to what shelters might be available in case, hey, you need to find a place to stay for a little bit until you can get back on your feet. The shelters are more than just a place to put your head down. They're going to help you with ID recovery, signing up for Social Security, disability, helping you with workforce employment. So the shelters, don't think shelters are just a place that it's a bunch of people where I'm going to have to stay and sleep. Think of it as a last ditch place that you can go to get the resources to get you on your feet. Now, before I go on, go ahead and explain that, please, because I'm going to point out to some apartments located.
Okay, let me tell you this. We do have a line, tenemos una línea, ¿verdad? Como dicen ellos, de teléfono. Usted va a llamar al 211. Si no le contestan ahí, también puede llamar al 311. Pero esas líneas de teléfono son sin costo. Usted no tiene que pagar cuando usted marca, no tiene nada que ver su estatus migratorio ni estatus legal aquí o como lo conozca usted. Simplemente hay que marcar y pedir sus recursos. Yo estoy pidiendo recursos para esta situación, etcétera. Ahora, es bien importante una cosa. Si usted está en la posibilidad de que la desalojen, entonces es posible que necesite ir a un shelter, ¿verdad? A un hospedaje de estos públicos, comunitarios. Nos comenta Richard que no es lo que muchas veces pensamos, nada más es ir a meternos con mucha gente que no conocemos y vamos a estar en un lugar que a lo mejor no es agradable. Claro, siempre nuestra casa es lo primero que quisiéramos tener en el nombre de Dios, ¿verdad? Pero a lo que voy es, en un shelter, Ricardo dice que no es lo único que hacen, le pueden ayudar a ponerse otra vez en pie hacia la sociedad, buscándole cómo sacar una identificación o buscando sus récords médicos, etcétera. Eso es bien importante que sepa que en un shelter puede tener más de una sola ayuda y no solamente ir a dormir. Okay, thank you. Richard, what was next?
So, the next place that they can go to actually find housing, okay? So now you want to go and locate for a new place to live, right? Now, if you you have a good amount of income, like more than $2,000 a month, or you get a Section 8 voucher, you can find housing through our website. Go to mycityismyhome.com. Can I show a walkthrough on the
Yes,
Zoom?
yes, I don't know how to share the screen for
Let me,
one second.
no, I can do it. I have
You?
access to it.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So this is
Richard nos
our,
quiere mostrar cómo se ve la página de él, en donde ustedes, cuando ustedes entren, que nos estén viendo, ya puedan saber qué deben de hacer el clic. Gracias, Richard. Go on.
so this is My City is My Home. You go to the renters support page. There's a video right here on how to use our apartment housing finder right here. So
¿Sí?
if you have an eviction, criminal record, Section 8, bankruptcy, looking for an apartment that accepts pets, these are apartments that you can find right here.
Bueno, miren el enlace y vean dónde pueden encontrar apartamentos. De acuerdo, si es una de ustedes está en una de esas categorías de evicción, bancarrota, etcétera.
So as you see, we have over 700 properties, and we're adding more all the time. You can use these drop-down boxes to help locate different properties. You can put down here what the monthly rent that you can afford.
El
So
límite,
let's say,
ya. So, entonces ahí hay un filtro. Ahí a mero arriba dice filters y es filtro. Y en ese filtro es donde usted pone cuánto es el límite de la renta que usted puede pagar. Y ahí le da un poquito más de detalles.
but the
Inclusive
most,
esta página, this page can be translated in Spanish. You notice that in the corner. Yep. Usted la puede traducir al español, nomás va a tener que hacerle clic en la mera esquina y mire cómo le sale todo en español. Está excelente tener un recurso así.
the biggest advantage here that I like is these are your different barriers that you can click on to find out which ones work.
Ok. So, esta es la gran ventaja que tiene, es de que todo lo puede ir viendo aquí. Cuando usted le vaya haciendo clic, puede ir desglosando más y opciones para que nada más vaya y busque donde puede tener la posibilidad de que lo acepten. So I'm telling them this. So when they do the filter, that's a possibility that they only searching for the more appropriate to them, to what they searching, correct? That's a good thing.
Yes. So
Great.
like, right, so let's say they are looking for senior properties. These are 47 different properties that focus just on seniors. See, and then if you go down to the bottom, this one's is will consider. So if you have a eviction, there's 195 places that will work with you if you have an eviction. If you have a felony, there's 102 different apartments that will work with you if you have a felony. Now, the problem that I want to say is that, yes, There are all these properties, but you have to call everyone to see if they have availability and what the rent is to make sure that it's affordable. That's the main thing.
So they have to call and do an application too, right? Okay,
Sí.
hay que llamar, hacer una aplicación. Muchas veces por eso es que se le dice a la persona que anda buscando, por favor, vete al filtro, solamente vea las viviendas que parecen que son las más aprobables para que si metes aplicación no te esté costando 25 aquí, 50 allá, etcétera. Application has a cost sometimes, right? So I'm telling them,
Most of them will
sometimes
be about $50 at least.
casi la mayoría van a ser de $50. Entonces, that's the reason why to get into the filter. So you can search for the ones that are more appropriate. Son las más apropiables. Este es solamente una presentación de un poco de tiempo, pero Ricardo y yo estamos preparando un evento. Queremos que sepan que este evento viene. Is that okay, Richard? We share the day too? Is that okay
Sure.
with you? We share the date,
Of
our
course.
coming event?
Of course.
So we're thinking about September the 19th. Estamos pensando septiembre 19. Es un día que usted puede sentarse con nosotros, ver esta presentación completa y queremos que usted sepa exactamente si tiene personas, amistades, familiares que están pasando por esta situación, que se ayuden. El Richard va a explicar todo y yo le traduzco o traemos una persona que lo diga la presentación en español.
Now, what big thing that I want, this is the other big huge thing that I want you guys to pay attention to is the payments tab right here. So we talked about the different barriers, evictions or criminal records, but let's talk about affordability. So if you click on payments, you can find all the ones that are income restricted properties. They might have a
Mire,
waiting list, but it's
sí.
lower rent. This one here is all bills paid.
Oh, this.
So those ones are normally filled up, but these are all bills paid properties where they include water, possibly electricity as well. And if you have a Section 8 voucher, these are all the apartments for Section 8. And the last one I really want to point out too is this one, income-based. Income-based for those of you that your income is less than $2,000 a month. And so it's gonna be hard to find any housing for you. So what you can do is go and find the income base that is where you would like to go to, and you click on it, and then you call them, and you visit them, and you sign up, and you get on their waiting list. Once you're on their waiting list, it might take you some time to get called. You might have to stay with a friend. You might have to stay at a shelter, but with the waiting lists are about anywhere from 6 to 12 months, right? So you might be hard to find housing for 6 to 12 months, but at least you're on the list for income-based housing, which if you don't have any income, let's say you're just surviving off of Social Security, it's income-based. It's going to be based on your income. It just takes time to get into them.
Sí, es bien importante que usted le siga esta situación de, no se le está diciendo exactamente, así lo tienes que hacer, pero le va a ayudar mucho. Mire, cuando usted sepa su ingreso, ahí donde dice, ¿y cómo puede hacer los pagos? Hay diferentes maneras que les está mostrando este sitio. La manera de ingreso restringido es diferente a basado en ingresos, o sea, y todas las facturas pagadas es uno de los que más buscan porque viene la luz y el agua incluida. Pero si usted trae cupones de la sección 8, con eso va a empezar a pagar una parte y ya paga usted lo demás. Por favor, fíjese en la de tasa de mercado, que es donde hay más propiedades. Es como 761. It shows there like a 761 on the market, right? When you have it. Can you go down one more on the blue one? Right on your left side?
Left?
On your right side?
Oh, sorry.
One more.
This one?
Down. One more down. Tasa de mercado. You have a click on todas las facturas pagadas. Can you go to the next one? Tasa de mercado.
See, sorry. Market
Sí.
rate. Oh, these one, this is it's still a development. These would be
Okay.
properties that you would click on that are not really affordable, right?
Okay.
But they're market rate. So we're trying to separate them in different spots. These are like the tax credits properties in San Antonio.
Sí.
These all these apartments take some kind of tax funds, and so that lets us reach out for support. They might have some programs and stuff like that, but these are just a bunch of different ways you can look for different housing, so you have more options instead of just calling a long list of apartments. You can come in, filter it, and at least it lowers. But please, 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 this is updated by volunteers on a quarterly basis. So we get volunteers and they call the apartments and they use resources to update this. So whenever you find a property, like let's say the West End Baptist Manor, you need to call and verify this information is correct. Okay, because they might change it from the last time that we've called. They might have been purchased by another property manager or owner or something like that. And so they might have different regulations. So if the property says that they accept Section 8, or if they work with criminal records, or it's income based, please call and verify before you apply.
Sí. So, very important, muy importante. Los detalles para cuando usted vaya a aplicar necesita tener su documentación lista. Por favor, cuando usted vaya a aplicar, esté consciente de sus gastos, de cuánto va a pagar ahí y si es el lugar conveniente. Una de las cosas que él está mostrando es una herramienta en línea que usted puede hacerlo, pero recuerde que nosotros vamos a querer tener esta presentación en persona y todo lo que usted pueda obtener de información allí es para que se apoye. I have a situation where people, right, that they go and apply, but they really don't have the check stubs with them. They got paid in cash, things like that. And it happens that even they are working, sometimes they lost it and then they go back to the boss and the boss, they don't want to print it again because it was accounting paperwork. And I'm talking about the ones that can even put the social security number on the application, but a lot of paperwork that they also require is not with them. So I'm encouraging them to have everything ready when they're going to apply.
On our website, if you scroll down, so this list is houses that work with Section 8. So if they have a Section 8 voucher, these are houses that work with Section 8 vouchers, but they're unlikely to accept somebody that has an eviction or criminal record or something like that. It's purely just for Section 8 finding housing. But here is a guide for San Antonio renters. Here you can go and we'll update, I'll upload the Spanish version of this, but this is a things to think about when you're becoming when you're renting, different rules, understanding the lease, step-by-steps, signing the lease, explains renter's insurance, what is the landlord's supposed to do when it comes to maintenance, and then what do you do when the landlord retaliates against you or is not fixing, or maybe they shut off your utilities. What do you do? These are all step-by-step guides. The eviction process. We go through the entire eviction process. We're updating this. We have a new version that's coming up, but at least what you can do is come to our site and you'll find a guide that will show you step by step on how to be a renter in San Antonio in Spanish and in English. That's going to be on, right now it's in English, but I'll update this to include the Spanish version.
Miren lo que les puso ahí Ricardo, la guía de una persona que va a rentar, porque muchas veces les pasa que entran a una casa, a un apartamento y no saben cómo decirle a los dueños que le den mantenimiento, qué más deberían de ser sus responsabilidades, cuáles son sus ventajas de estar rentando, etcétera. Entonces, busquen esa guía. Dice que la va a bajar también en español porque por el momento está en inglés. Gracias.
In working with the immigration liaison of the city of San Antonio, if you're having a hard time finding immigration and support, you can just go to our website. We have a link that takes you straight to the immigration resource directory. So you can find the different citizenship preparations, education, consulars, health services, financial assistance, housing services. So one little click will take you to the resources for immigrants and refugees. And then we also have our movement that we're doing to increase renters' rights, to help renters do housing. But I'll digress if you want to mention.
Sí, quería decirles que hay un apoyo para el migrante y refugiado. Si lo miran ahí, le presionan cuando vean y visiten esta página de internet y pueden darse cuenta de todos los recursos que también está ofreciendo la oficina de la ciudad de San Antonio, que tiene ese pequeño departamento para apoyar al inmigrante y al refugiado. Y también les comenta que para que pueda haber apoyos para los que están rentando, también necesita incrementarse el voto, ¿verdad? El voto es bien importante para mover, para los movimientos de los derechos de los renteros. Entonces, usted también entre, por favor, a esa página y fírmese ahí. No es como que le van a atacar nada políticamente. This is not about political, right? It's about knowing your rights and getting more others to know your rights as a
Yeah.
renter. Okay, thank you,
So
Rich.
there you are. So how do you find us? You go to mycityismyhome.com, you go to our renters page and you can find our renter information. And then if you know we have other resources where it comes to protesting property taxes for homeowners. But as we're talking here is our renter information. For contacting us, you can reach out to us at support@mycityismyhome.com. Support@mycityismyhome.com, and then you can call us at 210-951-0951, and we do have a Spanish option.
Entonces, ya vieron, aquí tienen la página de Mi Ciudad es Mi Casa. Ustedes pueden hacer el clic ahí donde dice contacto y también les está dando su número de teléfono. Say it again, the phone number, please. 210 210. It went off.
951
951
0951.
01, the last four.
0951.
Oh, 0995. Ok, entonces, cuando usted quiera, por favor, comunicarse con ellos, estar al pendiente de este tipo de apoyo, visite, lea. Yo sé que muchas veces van a decir, es que no me han regresado la llamada. La persona interesada tiene que seguir marcando. Siempre se los he dicho y con mucho cariño. ¿Por qué? Porque he visto que muchísimas personas se estresa demasiado la situación, se frustra y hasta entran en una ansiedad de no encontrar dónde vivir a corto tiempo porque ya les están pidiendo la casa. Hay que estar educados, hay que escuchar estos recursos. Si alguien le dice a usted, oh, yo escuché a Marta y a Ricardo hablar sobre esto en la radio, pásenle el video a alguien más porque en algún momento les puede suceder que necesitan este recurso. I'm telling them to share this video. It's the matter of just communicating resources to others. Why? Because probably at one point in your life or someone else that you know, they can be getting help from here. So Richard, thank you so much. September the 19th, we are having the flyer coming up and el folleto va a salir y vamos a ponerlo en la radio de la Virgen de Guadalupe, en la ventanilla de salud, en el YWCA, en las librerías. Voy y lo pongo el folleto. We always sharing outreach at different places. So hay muchos lugares donde voy y los vamos y los pegamos, pero usted nos puede comunicar 210-956-6943 en la ventanilla de salud si ya usted tiene la situación de que su estrés está muy alto y la situación emocional de que va a perder dónde vivir. I'm telling them this is a matter also of mental and emotional situation, because they are losing the place where they are going, they used to live in, and now they need to find out how to enter in a new place and do processing, documents, etc. So it's not an easy thing.
It's not, and no one organization or one person's going to have the answer. You're going to have to reach out to multiple groups to get the help that you need. So it's going to be hard, but there is help. It's just going to take segments and more than one to get to the right location that you need, okay?
So les va a tomar un poco de tiempo ir por diferentes segmentos, como dice él, para que tomen la dirección correcta, pero escúchenlo. Ricardo está aquí con su mejor intención. Su organización no lucrativa, My City is My Home, es a non-profit. Y estamos invitándolo para que venga y les diga a ustedes, para que nos apoye también con las personas más vulnerables y las personas que muchas veces necesitan escuchar esto. English y Spanish, sometimes it's, what exactly they're saying? What did she say in Spanish? What did he say in English? Guess what? Come to the event September 19th, because September 19th, we're going to explain better. You want to get the flyer? Please call us 210-956-6943. Estoy diciendo que el folleto está disponible y viene usted al evento y lo vamos a explicarle mucho mejor. It's probably that we can take some paperwork for them to take home too, Richard?
Yes,
Like
of course, of
something,
course. Oh, yes, we're
you
gonna,
know,
so what we're gonna bring at these workshops that we'll be doing is we're gonna have real estate agents come in and answer questions, as well as we're gonna have attorneys to answer. Let's say you come to this workshop on September 19th, you need help finding housing. We'll have a real estate agent help search for some housing for you that day. So that day you will get something to take with you to help you find some housing. If you have some questions about how to fill out a work order, you know, maybe you have a landlord that's not responding to a work order request, we'll help you right there to fill out. So these renters workshops, it's about what do you need as a renter in the community? What do you need? And then we're going to bring the professionals that are going to support you for free, volunteering.
Ricardo está diciendo algo espectacular. Dice que ese mismo día hay apoyo para llenar alguna papelería, mostrársela para que la mire cómo es. Muchas veces usted no la ha visto, nunca la ha tenido y no sabe cómo se llena. Si usted quiere poner que en su apartamento o en su casa le arreglen algo, ahí hay lo que se llaman unas órdenes de trabajo, entonces hay que llenarlas. Familiarícese con eso. Yo le digo, llegue temprano. We're planning from 10 to 12, right? De las 10 a las 12, llegue, pregunte, infórmese y no se vaya sin que le demos una respuesta, y si no, que la anotemos y busquemos la respuesta. Por favor, no se desanime, venga, es importante, es un tema sensible. It's a sensible topic. However, we're going to be there to support, correct? So I'm going to let Ricardo leave, because I know I only getting 40 minutes from you, but gracias a todos. Quiero decirles que nuestro próximo evento también con el YWCA, para que usted nos venga a ver en la parte de la salud, es el día 9 de septiembre. This is on September the 9th. I'm talking about the other one. So that's a resource fair. Es diferente a septiembre 19. Septiembre 9 es para todos en general, la salud, finanzas, educación, legal e inmigración. Y es en el 503 Castroville Road, de las 10 de las 9 de la mañana a las 2 de la tarde. 503 Castroville Road, ahí hay un evento de una feria de recursos y de salud. Vamos a tener doctores, ginecóloga para la vista, para checar el hígado, los riñones. Venga usted por una ayuda legal, inmigración, consultas, etcétera. Y ahí va a estar Richard. Richard, are you going to be with us?
Yes, I will be there. We're helping with all the events for Welcoming Week.
All right. So Richard is going to be there. Meet him in person. que te miren en persona. Les agradezco mucho y esperamos verlos muy pronto. Si tienen dudas, una vez más, comuníquense en los números de teléfonos que les dimos. Yo soy de parte de la Ventanilla de Salud, es un programa. Richard es una non-profit. Yo pertenezco a la YWCA y es una colaboración con el Consulado Mexicano, así es que por eso es que nos miran por aquí, gracias a Virgen de Guadalupe Radio, que colabora con nosotros para que ustedes puedan tener este mensaje. So thank you very much because all of you listening, sharing in the future, this video is making a big impact on the ones are really going through this topic. It could be you next time, and we don't know. We don't want you to go there. That's why be prepared. Richard said at the beginning, and I'm going to repeat it. Have your list. Tenga su contrato. Dated from the beginning to the end. Signatures. Las firmas. Desde el principio hasta el final, póngale la fecha a su contrato de renta. Pida uno. No se quede sin uno. Too many people is afraid, ashamed to ask because they are friends, because, oh, I know him. And then they're en pique. They're not taking care of each other. And now one of them is losing. So, no, si se molestan entre ustedes los amigos y luego dicen, ya no quiero que vivas aquí, te van a decir bye bye y uno de los dos va a perder. Entonces, hay que proteger eso. So, thank you so much, Richard, because you bring in paperwork so they can see too. Maybe we can have an example how the eviction form looks like. Guess what? Too many people see that paper, but they really don't know how to read it and what it means, and they discard it. And guess they miss the appointment at the court. So, cuando usted mira un documento formal y no lo sabe, muchas veces podría estar perdiendo la corte y no queremos que le pase eso. So, thank you very much. Something else you want to add?
I would say if you missed your court date, if you get the eviction letter and you missed your court date and you haven't had the only person that's going to come to evict you is the sheriff's department, the constable's office, right? So a authority. So the landlord cannot even tell you to leave. So if you get a letter that says you need to leave in 24 hours or anything like that, that's not right. It has to be a police, a sheriff, a constable from a court order to go and tell you to leave. If that has not happened, you still have time to talk to a lawyer. So that's when you can contact Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid or other nonprofit attorneys that will help you appeal your eviction. So there's still time to help you. So just because you have an eviction on your thing doesn't mean that you need to leave tomorrow. There's time for you to find some housing, find some help. So don't let that tell you to leave right away.
Okay, listen. Se les pasó la corte. Tienen que ir allí al precinto 1, a la corte de precinto 1 aquí en la Pleasanton. Miren la dirección que viene en el papel y vayan y mencionen que no lo tenían con ustedes o algo para ver si hay una posibilidad de que les extiendan, porque el único que le puede ir a sacar de su casa es la policía del sheriff. Entonces, usted tiene que ir antes. Si usted se entera que tiene corte, vaya antes. Los jueves en la mañana ya hay unos abogados y Richard lo está diciendo. Por eso es bien importante contactar con tiempo para recursos, porque ahí hay una ayuda legal. Hay diferentes. Entonces, la cuestión es nada más que si usted mira que ya le está pasando, que la fecha se está acercando, que usted va a ir a una corte, pida apoyo. Let be supported. Not directly to Ventanilla de Salud, but I am always able to refer to My City, My Home or the other organizations.
So,
La Ventanilla
yes.
de Salud solo es la parte de salud.
So
Entonces
please
yo
let,
la...
I was gonna say, so please let you know, ask everybody to let Martha know on YWCA if there's other topics from renting specifically, or homeowners, buying, so whatever you guys want, we'll come in. We'll either myself or another real estate professional, lawyer, contractor, what do you guys need? My City is My Home. We'll bring you guys the professionals to explain the topics that you need.
So, Ricardo nos está dando la gran oportunidad de que si hay unos temas más que quieramos hablar sobre lo de vivienda, renta, bienes raíces, etcétera, que le déjenme saber a mí para yo pasarles el mensaje a él. Y es el 210-956-6943. Esos temas ellos lo preparan con personas profesionales como él, como algunos abogados, como algunos, en inglés le dicen realtors, pero en español son personas de bienes raíces. Entonces, ellos preparan estas presentaciones, ponen todo esto junto y usted ya miró que sí hay un sitio de internet de apoyo. So, we really thank you the online support that you're sharing on the screen. So, Richard, hope to see you soon again. We're going to see them on September the 9th and then September 19th. Entonces, anótelo en su calendario. Put that in your calendar. So, it's very important. If you have any question before the event, what to take your paperwork. Llévenselo todo. Llévense su papelería. Take your paperwork with you because sometimes there's an answer. It could be the answer that you're looking for and save you house, your rent or something. You never know. We're not promising anything, ¿verdad? No estamos prometiendo, pero sí queremos que sepan que puede estar la respuesta ahí. Gracias y pasen bonito día. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate. God bless you. Gracias, Virgen de Guadalupe. Buen día. Y a todos ustedes que estén bien, que el estrés baje un poquito y la tensión. Y hay que confiar que sí hay recursos, pero nosotros tenemos que hacer nuestra parte. We have to do our part because there are resources around there. Thank you.